2016, we, had bought a house. I want to
Yeah.
make it my own, my
Yes,
own
yeah.
feel, look, and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I went into that journey of finding suppliers, contractors. I also was like, a lot of people are side hustling, because I guess when you're doing it, you're thinking you're one of a few,
Yeah.
Are you really gonna depend on one salary? Are you willing to live with the regret of knowing, if I don't take this leap of faith, how am I gonna feel? I'm always gonna wonder what could have, would have, and I was not willing to live like that.
Another episode, another unicorn. Welcome to Mzansi Unicorns. My name is Teddy Kuzwayo, and on today's episode, we are joined by the founder and CEO of DeNic Cabinets, Mrs. Dipuo Phakathi.
Thank
Mrs.
you.
Welcome to the show.
What a welcome. Thank you so much.
DeNic Cabinets. I've always wondered why the name DeNic out of all names, because the first time I heard about your business, your name is Dipuo.
Dipuo,
so
yes,
I would have expected maybe Dipuo Cabinets or
Phakathi
something Phakathi Cabinets, Phakathi Holdings, Phakathi
Yes.
Group. But you went with DeNic. What does
Yes.
DeNic actually mean?
So there's actually a story behind the DeNic Cabinets. I bought into an already existing company.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes, or an already existing business, because the
Yeah.
company my company name is Cabinet Connection, but
Okay.
I bought into the DeNic Cabinets.
Oh,
The
I see.
old
Okay.
owners are Nick and Dennis. It was a father and
I
son
see.
business.
Okay. Yeah.
Originally from Mauritius, went
Okay.
into manufacturing, furniture
Yeah.
manufacturing.
Yeah.
When I met them, they said, they thought they were going to live between South Africa and Mauritius, and they see that this business is really tying them down.
Okay.
And so hence I just, they had already an audience,
Yeah.
they were doing fairly well.
Okay.
And I just picked it up and ran with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what made you buy into the business?
Sure, it was a long journey. So
Yeah.
basically it all started when I was renovating my own house.
Okay.
In 2016, we, had bought a house. I want to
Yeah.
make it my own,
Yes,
my
yeah.
own feel, look, and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I went into that journey of finding suppliers, contractors, and then one of the things that I was doing is turning an old, I think, bedroom or office or something into a walk-in closet.
Okay.
I've always wanted a walk-in closet,
Yeah.
and this was my chance. So I interviewed contractors,
Okay.
and I guess eventually I became frustrated because I had these dreams of having a walk-in closet that's going to display my bags, my shoes, my jewelry,
yeah.
my perfume.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
all three of the contractors kept on saying, okay, we're going to give you something, a space for folding and a space for hanging.
Really.
And then I'm like, but, I kept on yearning for more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as I was frustrated, I was having a conversation with my husband. He said, what if you are not the only one feeling this pain? What if there are others that feel the same way you do? So that's where the business seed was planted. I knew what I wanted. I've always
Yeah.
had a passion for interior design. My mom and I, we could literally drive to expensive luxury suburbs or estates, go view houses on a Sunday. That's what we do. That's what we love. I live on these home renovation shows.
Yeah. Yeah.
TV shows. And so
You
I've
follow
always
the
had
one with the twins.
Yes, the
Okay.
twin brothers.
Yeah, the twin brothers.
Yes,
yeah,
I do.
My wife loves that.
I know,
She
right?
even has the game. I think there's
Yes.
an app. You also have that app. Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
my thing, and it's a passion that I have with my mom.
Yeah.
So I knew what I wanted. I could draw. I'm an
Yeah.
engineer by profession. I'm
Oh,
a
really?
metallurgist. Yes.
Okay.
And I drew my own thing.
Yeah.
And then I went out to go find a carpenter.
Yeah.
I found a carpenter in the east end of Johannesburg, and I said, "Listen, I know what I want. Can you just put together what I want?"
Was it the same carpenter that was working on your renovation?
Yes.
Or just a
so,
random
no,
one?
no. That's the same carpenter that worked on my renovation. So that's
Yes.
how I met him. I went
Okay.
to a shop,
Yeah.
found him, and I said, "Listen, I know what I want. I
Yeah.
just need someone to put
Yes,
together
yeah.
the cupboards for me. But I know the measurements. I know the size of my shoes, my perfumes, my bags, and all of that." And I remember in conversation with him, then he said he's always wanted to start a business, but he's technical. He's a carpenter by trade.
Yeah.
All he knows is wood. And I'm like, oh, okay, interesting, because at that time I had left the mining sector and joined corporate at a bank.
Yeah.
And I worked in a department called enterprise development.
Okay.
And we would, the mandate was to push and support BE SMEs. We would put together training programs for them, bring in people that would give them master classes on marketing, operations, finance, and all of that. So as you can imagine, running an actual program, I sat in all of those classes. When SARS was coming to teach them about tax and VAT, I sat in. So in my mind, I felt like I knew the theory of business.
Yep.
And here comes this person saying, he wants to start a business. Maybe we should start a business. He's more technical. I've got the business background. And so I think about 3 months after that conversation, I registered a business. I registered a company. And that's when everything started. The target market there, we sat down and he said to me, listen, there's these low-cost houses that, government does. Where you basically find a shell. So it's a house with a shell. There's no cupboards. There's no nothing, right? And he said, if we can go there when the guys get their keys, because it's like, my cousin, this is how my cousin got his keys. This is how you can get a house and whatnot. If we could go there on a weekend when the people get their keys, then we can convince them that we can do cupboards for them.
Yeah.
So that's how the business started. I was working full-time. He was working full-time at a carpentry company.
Okay. And then you moonlighted together.
We moonlighted together for about 2 years.
Into the moonlights, yeah.
The target market, easy, low-cost housing. It's a 4-unit kitchen, 4 cupboards. It's a 2-door, wardrobe.
Yeah.
That's what we did for 2 years. That's how the business was started.
But the business was under a different name. You say...
So the holding company is
Yes, the
Cabinet
holding
Connection.
company. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So we ran the business like that as a side hustle.
So this was before DeNic
this is
Cabinets
before
now.
meeting the owners.
Yeah.
Ran it for about 2 years while side hustling. Obviously, we would see clients manufacture somewhere because obviously we didn't have a manufacturing facility, and then he would install with an assistant. So it was a 3-man show. I had basic tools in my garage at home, and that's how we operated.
Yeah.
And then the company that I was working for, the banking company, one of the 4 big banks, ran a competition.
It's just getting closer and closer to me guessing what that bank is. But
Yes.
we'll hold that thought for now. I'm sure I'll figure it out eventually.
So they ran a competition around what's your next, right?
Okay, now I
this
know
is
the
about
bank.
a couple of years ago.
No, I know the bank.
And, and then there was this competition for businesses where, they said permanent employees that have side hustles can enter.
Oh,
and,
really?
They were doing
So they
this
allow side hustles at
They
this
allowed side hustles.
bank that talks about what's your next.
Yes.
Okay. So
and
your next was the side hustle,
competition-
actually.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
And the competition win was that you win 4 months paid leave to focus on your side hustle.
Wow.
Full salary, full benefits, everything. You leave your work for 4 months and go
Okay.
focus on your side hustle. So to cut the long story short, I won that competition.
Okay.
I actually won that competition while I was on maternity leave. So I entered and won the competition while at home, maternity leave.
Surely it doesn't
6
count.
months. No.
No, it must be an extra it can't count towards your maternity
No,
leave.
it didn't.
Yeah.
But what I found myself in a situation where 6 months maternity leave, I win this competition while I'm at home. It's 4 months. I was literally home for a year.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking to myself, if I don't make the business work, if I don't grow the business or solidify it during this time, it will never happen.
Yeah.
Because who gets this chance?
Exactly.
It's not normal.
Yeah. Did they give you funding?
No.
On top of that?
So
Okay.
basically that was it. Time
okay.
off.
Yeah.
You focus on your business, you grow it, you deal with it.
you.
Yeah, do
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
During that time, as you may have it, I'm Airbnb in the Val somewhere.
Yeah.
I meet this father and son. We're complaining about a geyser that's not working. I'm there with my family. The water's cold. They come fix it. In conversation, I'm complimenting because now I'm in the business, right?
Yeah.
I'm complimenting their kitchen. Oh, I like farm style, those old European kitchens. That's kind of my style. I like it, they say, oh, we do kitchens.
Yeah.
We own a kitchen company. We've got a factory in Germiston. And I'm like, oh, I'm new in the business. I'm trying to, do exactly what you are doing. A week later, then I asked them for mentorship. I'm like, oh, could you mentor me? Because, you are very aspirational. You are quite big, own a factory. I'm just starting out, and I'm still side hustling. A week later, the father actually calls me. You would have thought that I would be, if you're asking someone for a mentorship, you would be the one pushing and asking them for time. But he calls me and says, oh, you said you're going to visit my factory. I'm like, okay, no, I can come. And in that first conversation, that first meeting, he says to me, he's been looking at selling and he thinks he's met the right buyer in me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's good and well. It's like, no, when we spoke, your passion about the industry, your knowledge, I've had a couple of friends, I guess the people that know that I'm trying to sell, offer me something. But, after our interaction, I couldn't stop thinking about you would be the perfect person to take over the business.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. So, and I'm like, it's all good and well, but I also don't have the money. I asked
Problem
him.
number one.
Problem number one. I don't have the money.
Yeah.
And I mean, I might have known the basics, but I mean, this was full on manufacturing with machinery, with
And it's an
employees.
existing business. Yeah.
It's an existing ongoing business. As you may have it, round about that time, I'm also part of some enterprise development program by Liberty.
Okay.
And what they were doing at that part of the enterprise development program, growing, Black woman-owned SMEs, is that you had to choose two specialists, whether it's marketing, finance, or whatever, two specialists that would come into your business. They would pay the specialist to help you as a business, and they had a cap. I think it was about 50K each. So if you need marketing, they would pay a marketing consultant. The marketing consultant could do a website, pamphlets, any kind of marketing related things. So I then go back to, this organization and I say, here's this opportunity. This is what happened. Then they say they literally flew an attorney all the way from Cape Town to come and help me with the sale agreement.
Wow.
Spoke to this
so it
person.
Was happening.
Yeah, we spoke to this person. And it's like, no, it's possible. I'm like, but I don't have the money. It's like, no, it's possible to buy it without having the money now.
Wow. Okay.
He literally drew up a contract where I could buy the business over a year. And even over that year, the son was going to stay in the business with me and teach me the manufacturing part of it. But then he also had targets for them to say, it can't be that Dipuo comes and relax.
Yes,
so the same sales targets that you've been getting, actually you must do more, because if now you are making more, this is the money that Dipuo is going to use to pay you.
Absolutely.
So it's your prerogative to actually do well. Otherwise, she doesn't have money to pay you.
Yeah.
He drew up this amazing contract that, I probably at that time didn't half understand, trusted him. He's the best in the business. And that's how I got to buy DeNic Cabinets.
So DeNic is Dennis and Nicholas.
Nick. Yes.
And right now it's owned by Dipuo and Simpiwe.
Yes.
So is it going to change to D-Sim? D-Sim,
No,
D. Have you ever thought about something like that?
No, I haven't. Hey, I'm very content. And
So you won't change the name?
No, I won't change the name.
Okay.
I won't change
Suppose it's got history.
It's got history.
Yeah.
I'm carrying the business. The business is thriving, if I may say so myself, with the same name. Why? Why fix something that's not broken?
Absolutely.
So those are my thoughts, and I'm running with it till now.
So tell me your thoughts on side hustles. And I'm just taking a step back. The one thing about South Africans actually is that they're always doing something. It's like when they talk about the unemployment rates, and the CEO of Capitec Bank a few weeks ago, controversially and I believe truthfully, says that the unemployment rate is less than 10%. Because when you walk around the townships, you don't see people doing nothing.
Yes.
Everyone is always making a plan.
Yes.
That's the thing about South Africans. So what's your take on side hustles?
The surprising thing, when that competition came about at the bank, 2,000 employees, permanent employees entered. And
this was in
This
South
was in-
Africa.
Yes. Yeah, just for the
2000.
South African.
So
Yeah.
let me just get it right. So how many
I wonder how many
employees are there
Yeah.
in that, I'm assuming, head office?
Yes, head office, yeah. But they also, the branch network could also
Oh, okay,
enter.
okay. But
So
I
it's
mean, that's
quite
still
big.
a significant amount.
Percentage, yeah. I'm sure it was still a
So
significant.
2,000 side hustles in that bank.
Yes.
And there's probably more.
And it was
actually.
anything from mamang selling acha, baking cakes.
Yeah.
I mean, and I remember being so nervous because I was up against a lady that manufactures caravans as a side hustle.
Caravans, like the
Yes,
cars caravans.
yes.
Wow.
Manufactures caravans as a side hustle while working, at a branch.
Wow, at a branch?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
So that's when I thought, I also was like, a lot of people are side hustling. Because I guess when you're doing it, you're thinking you're one of a few,
Yeah, yeah.
But really, like, people were pushing, people. And I think round about that time, it was that thing of, are you really going to depend on one salary?
Yeah,
And is one salary, enough for
Yes,
the kind of
exactly.
lifestyle that we
Yes,
want,
yes,
the
yeah.
economy that we live in?
Hey, Cyril's economy.
Exactly.
It's real. Yeah.
And so I was pleasantly surprised that a lot of people are side hustling, actually.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was more pleasantly surprised that the bank I was working for was open to such.
Yeah.
Because I remember shortly after winning, I went and spoke in Botswana where they also wanted to run a similar, competition.
In
Same bank,
the same
but
bank in
yes,
Botswana.
yes.
Okay.
And yeah, the interest has just been amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the thing with side hustles as well is a lot of people start to wonder at what point do the side hustles become their main hustles?
Yes.
And so for you, what made you get to that point? Like
Yes.
what is the trigger for you to make the jump?
Yeah. So it's two things, right? The first one in that before my 4 months lapsed,
Yeah.
remember now I had gotten this conversation, I had gotten this contract, sale agreement, everything signed. So a week before I was supposed to go back to work, I have a meeting with my manager, at the bank.
Yeah.
And say, listen, I'm going to resign because this is the situation.
Okay.
In the 10 months or whatever that I was home, this is what happens. I've now got employees. I'm now full on manufacturing. I've got
But
a
she knew
factory
you had
now.
a side hustle.
Yes, she
already.
knew I had a side
Okay.
hustle. Knew very little about what happened during the time I was away. I was
Yeah.
away from work.
Yeah.
And so I update her and she's like, no, I totally understand. You have to go on full time.
Okay.
So there's something about now somebody depending on you,
Yeah.
Now I've got people that I need to pay wages,
Yeah,
salaries. They look to me.
Yeah.
Come month end, come for the weekly wage, they look to me. I'm employing fathers who've got families, who've got kids that go to school.
Yeah.
So I
yeah.
really had to now take this thing seriously.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And that's the one thing. The other thing, I remember even when I was, struggling to decide, do I resign, do I not? I mean, the main thing that we are mostly scared of is the money, right? Will
Yeah,
I be able?
yeah.
I mean, you know what the salary does.
Yeah.
It keeps you. It's
Yeah.
nice.
The
You're
25th
waiting.
of the month.
25th,
Whether you do
20th,
well or not, the 25th is coming.
It's coming.
Yeah.
And so I had the same fears. I invited, my husband and I invited our financial manager, who handles our family finances. And I'm like, listen, this is what's happening. Are we looking good for me to now not be contributing in terms of
Yeah.
salary?
Yeah.
And do you know, we really didn't go deep into the rands and cents. What he said to me was that, Dipuo, at this point, for you, I would say, imagine if you don't take this opportunity to go
Yeah.
full-time into business. You're always
Yeah.
going to wonder.
Yep.
So my
Yep.
question is, are you willing to live with that? I wonder what
Yes.
could have happened
Yes, yeah.
if I had done this. And he said, you're a qualified engineer, you've got work experience. Should this thing fail for, you try it 2 or 3 years, give it 2 or 3 years,
Yeah.
try it. If it fails, you are employable.
Yeah.
You can still go back into the job market.
Yeah.
But for me, the other way around is detrimental. If you don't do this thing, you're always going to live in regret. And that is the worst thing to live with.
Yeah.
He left me with that. Like I said, we didn't even get into can the family afford it, whatever, savings, 3 months, 6 months, because that's the kind of conversation I was hoping to have.
Yes, exactly.
For him to tell me, okay, maybe you need to save this amount.
Yeah.
It was that simple.
Yeah.
Are you willing to live with the regret of knowing, if I don't take this leap of faith, how am I gonna feel? I'm always gonna wonder what could have, would have, and I was not willing to live like that.
Did you always know that you're going to be an entrepreneur? Because quite often, a lot of people ask, it's like leadership.
Yeah.
Is leadership born or made?
Yeah.
And entrepreneurs, is entrepreneurs, are they born or are they made? Or when did you know?
You know
or
what?
even realize?
Growing up, I would have never thought I would have become an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
With me, business started from following a passion. It was as simple as that. I knew what I wanted to be doing every day. I had a flourishing career, promising, the promises were there to go up the ladder and all of that, but it was not fulfilling. I was not completely happy. And I knew what a fulfilling career looks like because my husband has that. And, I knew the way he's so happy, this is what he's supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So I was not that happy.
Yeah.
And when this thing came about and I was renovating my own house and I was happy, I was fulfilled. This is what I looked forward to, as much as he looks forward to going to work every day with energy. Now I was that person and I thought, this must be it. This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
For the first time.
Because I can't say, I ever sold this or tried this. No. I just followed a passion. I knew I wanted to create beautiful spaces for people, be surrounded by beautiful homes and stuff like that. That's all I knew.
Yeah.
That just makes me happy. That environment makes me happy.
Because a lot of people also ask, how do you know your passion, actually? It's like when your parents ask you, what do you want to do when you grow up? Right? You may not necessarily choose your passion. You'll choose something. You chose metallurgical engineer.
Yes,
well, I don't know if that was initially your passion or you just ended. I mean, how did you even end up becoming an engineer?
You know what? I grew up in a small mining town.
Okay.
Kutzong, in the western end of Joburg, Kutzong in Carltonville, the world's deepest mine, Goldfields mine is there.
Yes, yeah.
And so growing up, when you see this, I always knew I wanted.
Right?
Yes, Sibanye is now
Sibanye,
there.
yeah.
I always reference successful people and I'm like, I want to be that. And whenever I thought about successful people around me in that environment while I was growing up, it was either doctors or engineers.
Okay.
And then in the process of elimination, I knew I didn't want to be a doctor. Okay. So my only other option was to become an engineer. And so when I researched and I guess it worked well. I was a top maths and science student.
Yeah.
One of the big mines also snatched me. I paid for my fees.
Oh, okay.
I was a bursary student. After getting the bursary, I went to go work for them. So it made sense. And as a young person, I wasn't really thinking passion. Do I like this? It's all I knew. It's all, the successful people around me at the mining town were all engineers. And I knew I wanted this kind of life. I wanted to live in the houses they lived in, the mining houses, the big mine manager houses, the cars. That was my reference point.
And then you got into home improvement.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got into.
You saw that app with the twins. Started following that show, and you were like, you know what?
And you ask how do people find their passions? How do you know this? It's like it comes without any effort. I can, like you're saying with your wife, I can sit in those home renovation, home makeover shows the whole day. It just keeps me entertained. I love going to see beautiful houses. So it just comes with no effort. You don't have to make anything out of it, And I guess that's what, you could do it the whole day without being paid, obviously, payment comes because we all have to live, right? Then you monetize it to make it into a business. But it's basically something you could do without even being paid for it.
And I think that's the challenge, actually.
Mm.
It comes down to money, is your passion needs to align with
Yes.
something that can make money.
Yes.
But the reality is that you can make money out of anything,
Yes.
actually.
Yeah.
You could have a passion for anything that you may not think has a market, but you can make that market.
Yeah, you create
Yeah.
that market for yourself. I mean, when I started business, like I said, I've always had a dream of like dream walk-in closets and stuff like that. I thought I'm gonna make, the biggest walk-in closets, but going into business, then I saw, there's a demand in the kitchen business. Like
Really?
people are willing to pay for nice kitchens. And that's when now we lost that whole only, walk-in closets. And now I was, obviously looking at the entire house. Because I saw people, I mean, you get customers like, I love my retired teacher and nurse customers because they'll tell you stories like, I've saved up for my kitchen from January.
That's amazing.
I've been putting money aside for this. So by the time you deliver and you give them that kitchen, it's so fulfilling, It's so intentional because these people made an effort and stayed disciplined throughout a year or maybe years to get this one thing that they've been wanting to work towards.
Yeah, yeah. And where's the business today? Just in terms of your markets.
Yeah.
Geographically, are you doing things outside of Joburg? Or...
Yes, definitely. The business has grown. We're no longer targeting the low-end market. We now mid-luxury market.
Oh, wow.
So we target your golf estates.
Wow,
We're doing
okay.
well in those.
Okay.
But
These are residentials?
residential. So 80% of my target market is anybody who's building or renovating a house.
Okay.
Mostly residential. I do have a bit of a market in the retail space. So anybody who's setting up a new shop, I do shop fitting, and then also corporate. I've done schools, school furniture. I've done ESCOM offices. And so that's my market. And I mean, we are based in Wynberg in Sandton. That's where our manufacturing factory is. And we're setting up a retail showroom in Pretoria East, Parkview Mall. So the business is growing in that aspect. And also we've completed projects in nationwide, as far as Venda, Limpopo. I have a couple of clients in the Northwest, mostly Harties. I do a lot of houses there. And quite recently, we've done...
I'm sure.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Your Leloko eco estates and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But in the past 3 years, I've done cross-border projects, which has been quite interesting. So I think about 3 years ago, we completed a project in Zambia, Lusaka.
Zambia?
Yes, Zambia, Lusaka.
How did you get to Zambia? From Venda to Zambia?
I know, right? So we were working with a very well-renowned interior designer, Donald Ngumalo, who does, all the upmarket houses and stuff like that in South Africa.
Okay.
So we were manufacturing some stuff with him. We would partner in such a way that, he does some of the furniture and I would do the cabinetry and stuff like that. And so he landed this opportunity to do, I think it was one of the four, I guess, the big bank's chairman or president in Zambia, Lusaka, to do his residential house. And so he took me along. He took me and several other contractors along with our teams. And then we got this opportunity to work in Zambia, Lusaka. And that project will always be close to my heart because, I took 3 of my installers with me and it was their first time on a plane.
Wow.
It was their first time staying in a hotel. Yeah. Wow. First time flying, first time staying in a hotel. So it was so surreal. And also, one of the guys cried, and he's an old man that's an installer of mine. And he said, I don't know. He's like, you'll never understand what this means for us. He's like, my children can't believe I'm on a flight right now. He started crying on the flight. And I'm amazing. I've done it. If anything, if I needed some kind of, push to say, because also when you're an entrepreneur, you don't know, am I doing well? Am I not?
Yeah.
But if ever there was a stamp of approval to say you have done it, for me, that was it.
Yeah.
I mean, to see an old grown man crying and saying, you don't know what you have done to me and my life.
Wow.
Through you, I get to do this. under normal circumstances, I would never get to see another country. I would
Yeah.
never sleep in a hotel. I would never fly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, wasn't that scary? Doing a project in Zambia.
I know
Yeah.
exporting is not easy.
Yeah.
And our business is very meticulous with size, and you get one thing
material
wrong.
even,
Yeah,
I
material.
imagine. Yeah.
And also, what we also realized that side is that the weather it's very hot there. It
Yeah.
gets very hot. So now I know actually the amount of research that you have to do before
Yeah.
you go into a country. Will your material withstand the heat
Yeah.
that country has? So, but I mean, I would have never thought. And now we just completed our second cross-border project in DRC,
Out of all places.
out of all places.
How did you get to DRC?
These are customers I met while on a short break with my kids.
Yeah.
The Kingdom Resort just next to Sun City.
Okay.
And we are chilling. Our kids are swimming together.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, they are from DRC, just holidaying here.
Okay.
Start talking, tell them about my business. They're like, we're building.
Okay.
We're building and we need cabinetry, and we haven't
And is
found...
this retail as well? So
No,
retail
this
as
is-
in residential?
Yeah, this is residential, but
Okay.
this is a big residence.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was it the
this
president?
is also... No, a prominent businessman.
Okay.
There.
Former general.
I'll say big in logistics, because you also,
Okay.
the customers don't want you to tell about their profiles.
Yeah.
But big in logistics in the country there. And yeah, we literally just completed that project. Manufactured for them, put everything in a container, gets transported that side. We fly with our team that side, and yeah.
So these are like not once off now. I mean, you're a global company.
Yeah,
Really.
yeah.
I think it's fair to say.
You know what?
Yeah.
And I think I've worked a lot with the DTIC government.
Okay.
I've done a couple of international exhibitions. So
Okay.
they try to get us as SMEs to look
Yeah.
beyond the South African market.
Brilliant.
So I think with some of those trips, I think 2 years ago I went to Paris in Europe. We went to a boat exhibition.
Yeah.
So they took a couple of furniture manufacturers, because obviously the yards there have like actual furniture inside them, bedrooms, couches, kitchens and stuff like that. And so I think that exposure, also helped me to think beyond the borders of South Africa. There's actually a market there, outside of South Africa. Why are we not tapping into it? And so now, even 2 months from now, in September, I'm traveling again with the DTIC to Saudi Arabia, just to
Wow,
go
okay.
and see how we can do trade and improve trade between the two countries and expose us SMEs to the market there.
You're going to have to open an office in Saudi Arabia because you'll be doing princes. Okay? Princes' kingdoms.
Oh my gosh.
Like, not small
from your
houses.
mouth to God's ears.
I'm telling you. Yeah.
I'm hoping and praying. Yeah, that's the whole intention
Yeah.
of going to some of these trips.
Do you want to open an office internationally?
Yes,
that-
yes, but I must say I want to start with SADC, especially
Okay.
with the Africa Free Trade Agreement
Yes,
and all
yeah.
of these things that are happening. It's quite easy, accessible, there's a lot of support for it. So I wouldn't mind, Botswana, Lesotho, Swaziland, Zimbabwe. I've
Yeah.
had a couple of online clients from Zim.
Oh, really?
Some demand from there. Yeah, I
Okay.
do have demand in Zimbabwe.
So you've done projects in Zim as well?
So with the project in Zim, we've done for a client, but we manufactured and sent out the container.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, from here to there, but she had her own installers.
Oh, I see.
So,
okay.
but we do have Zim clients.
Okay. Oh, so you've actually got an online business?
Yes.
In essence, okay. So
Yeah.
you can export anywhere?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, what I like about home improvements is that in the last couple of years, it's exploded.
Yes.
Since COVID.
Yes.
It's all been about... Because people are spending more and more time
at home.
Yeah.
And they're seeing what irritates them about their home, or what they
Yes,
dislike
exactly.
about, like,
Yes,
I've
yeah.
always wanted to do this, and now that I work from home, it's possible. Let me invest the time. What's funny is that I was interviewed by E-News during that COVID time, I think shortly afterwards. And I mean, we had two totally different stories. It was me and a Cape Town lady in the restaurant business. And obviously her narrative at that time was how, COVID killed her business and all of that. Me on the other side, I was just like, my numbers are going well. We're doing well. The demand kind of changed around COVID. I think even people wanted to have nice bookshelves behind
Yes.
their
Oh,
online
of course.
meetings,
Yes.
their
Yeah,
Zoom
yeah, yeah.
meetings.
Yeah.
So it was more
Like the
around.
one you have right now.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So the demand kind of shifted from, the typical kitchens and stuff like that to home office renovations was big, bookshelves, that type of thing. But we were doing well. We did well during that period.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you think about it, even home, I guess, improvement businesses like your builders and stuff like that, they did very well during that time.
Yeah.
People were just into DIY and, making their spaces up. If I'm going to live and work here, it better look nice.
Make the most
I
of it.
might as well, improve it and make it conducive.
Yeah. I mean, where do you see the market going actually in South Africa and beyond the borders?
Yeah.
Where do you see the biggest demand coming from?
You know what? I think all over the continent. I really believe in the continent. And even some of your people downplay your Zimbabwe market.
Yeah.
One thing about Zimbabwe clients also, they're one of those like my retired teacher and nurse clients where they save up for home improvements. It seems like it's something very close to their hearts. So they would save up for it, and by the time they call you, they are ready.
Yeah.
You get some customers that are like, oh, kind of fishing, I'm in two minds about it. So I wouldn't put it past me to open something in Zim.
Yeah.
But I mean, even my clients in Lusaka is quite interested in my line of business. He's spoken about maybe, opening up something there. So yeah, the sky's the limit. Hence I'm saying I do believe in the continent.
Yeah.
We've also designed for a client in US, Texas.
Wow.
This was also during COVID.
Wow.
I think her sister is based in South Africa. We did something for the sister. And, the sister said, no, my sister who lives in the US wants to do something in the office. I mean, even if it's just a design. So we did a 3D render for them. Yeah.
Jeez, that's amazing.
It's a starting
point.
And
then they manufactured and installed that side.
Yes. Okay. So we would give them the plans, the sizes, and then they can get it made that side.
And how did they find you? Out of all... I mean, the twins are in the US, right? They could have gone to the twins.
Exactly.
They
so
came
my
to
US client, the sister stays in South Africa, and we had done something for the sister. I think we had worked on her house, and she was raving about our service. And I think when her sister in the US was doing her office, then she said, "Oh, could you at least design?" Yeah. But I mean, our offering starts from design, manufacturing, and installation. So we do have a team of interior designers and architects that are really good. So that offering can run on its own, just designing, and then obviously the manufacturing in the factory, and then the fitters or installers that come to your house and fit the cupboards.
What are some of the early struggles?
Yeah. There are early struggles. So for me, naturally, as you can expect, I'm a Black female. Fairly young at that time when I started about 6 years ago. A Black female in a white male-dominated industry. I was telling someone also, you get to site with the architect, the builder. They're all white male Afrikaans, start speaking Afrikaans on site during the site meeting. So it's those. But what I've gotten to know is that you have to find your voice. People can't shut you up when you've got something valuable to offer. So the more experience that I've gained, the more knowledge that I've gained up, along the years. When I speak and I raise my voice, now they listen. And now I become part of the team. Now they include me, and I've always advocated you can't lead with just being a Black woman in business. It's not enough. You have to know what you are talking about. You have to know your business in and out. Nobody can tell you anything about your business. You have to be the best in your business. And so that has what has gotten me to be now invited in the circles. But another one is, I remember there was a time where you would see like a building going up, a block of flats, and I would go there and pitch my business. I'm Dipuo, this is what I do. Can I do the cupboards? I see obviously the block of flats coming up, and realizing when, the most line that I would get, the most headline that I would get at that time is that the decisions for the team decisions for this have already been decided 2 years ago before this building even went up.
Yeah.
So by the time you see something, decisions were made 2 years ago. Yeah. A team was formed 2 years ago. And that's when I thought, and also the team is, when you say, okay, but this is my offering, this is what I can do, then they tell you, no, but we've been working together in a close team for years now. I mean, I trust my carpenter. Why would I leave my trusted carpenter that I've been working with as a team for 10 years and give you a chance? So, that's the response that I've gotten used to. But then I thought to myself, with us, I must find my own team.
Yeah.
Find people that are similar, I guess, vision, values. We are on the same wavelength, same, I guess, similar pace in business. But actually, we must start building our own teams now, because trying to go break into another team where people have long-standing relationships, it's impossible. It's impossible. And those are some of the backlashes that I guess we get. And then obviously it's the gatekeeping and stuff like that. But yeah, those are some of the early challenges that I've had to work around.
Yeah. And the business is still largely, at least the market, it's still largely white dominated.
Yes, yeah. In our industry, still largely white dominated. I mean, we were having a chat with, my funders. So last year I went on a funding journey, which is a whole nother story.
Yeah.
Altogether, because trying to source funding from government is an extreme sport.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got successful. So the NEF eventually funded me for the growth and expansion of my business. And so that's why I also am working on setting up a new showroom. So all of that was part of the funding. And I've improved also the machinery and technology in my manufacturing factory.
Yeah.
But, part of the funding, I remember there's a section about even some of my suppliers, because remember, if government is going to give you money, they also want you to empower other people like you, So some of my suppliers have to be BE suppliers.
Yeah. And I told them, people.
Yes. Yeah. And I told them there are no BE suppliers in my industry. Everybody that sells hardware, boards, is white. So unfortunately now I can't be denied funding because of that. I can't change the industry. But also I think that's the homework that funders have, that before also you go and put out money and stuff like that, research that industry. Before you put out gatekeeping clauses like that, research the industry. Because had I just been one of those that accepts that this is one of the conditions and not, but I fought it. And eventually I got funded.
Yeah. I mean, it's incredible how you've been able to break into an industry where you're pretty much on your own. In a way. But you're still blazing.
I am my own blueprint. Because if you think about it, I don't have the luxury of saying my mentor or who I look up to is whichever black woman that was in carpentry. There isn't.
You are that black woman in carpentry.
I am that person.
That the next person is going to look up to.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's been, unfortunately, then I have to do the fighting. I have to do the fighting. I have to be the one breaking the barriers. I have to be the one questioning. And I mean, I'm very active. I mean, I sit on the committee of the Kitchen Specialist Association, which is an association for kitchen manufacturers. I'm the only black woman there in that committee. I was even the first black woman to join, but I've lobbied and found, my other competitors to join. I sit on the SAFI, South African Furniture Institute committee.
Wow.
So I'm doing my part. It's not easy to always be fighting, but I feel like it's a responsibility. Like I'm saying, there's no one that's done it before me. And so like you are saying, other people are gonna, I'm gonna be that person.
Someone has to do it.
Someone has to do it. And unfortunately, the responsibility lies here.
Yeah. No, I mean I'm inspired.
Thank you.
I'm truly, truly inspired
Thank you.
because I can imagine just the anxiety and the pressure
Yes.
and the accountability ultimately that you've had to take.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. I mean, as we stand, I employ 12 staff members
full time.
full time. Yeah. So I have a team of interior designers, architects, and carpenters in my business. So as you can imagine, it's daunting.
Yeah,
But like I say, some people think that you are I'm fearless. No, I am fearful like the next person.
yeah,
But my thing is I do it anyway. Fearfully
yeah,
so, I do it and I go for it.
yeah. What drives you?
Um, the change I want to see also, but
Yeah,
also family.
yeah.
I think one of the most pivotal moments is, so I've got 3 kids. My firstborn is a son. When I was pregnant with my secondborn, that's when I won that competition. I was on maternity leave. And she's a daughter, right? And I remember thinking to myself, thinking things like, I wonder if my daughter is gonna say I'm her role model.
Wow.
Because my mom is my role model. She's
Yeah,
a teacher and
yeah,
all of that, and for many other reasons, because of her strength and whatnot. But I started thinking about, am I gonna be a good role model? And I also then started thinking about, when you say to your kids, do what you love, follow your passion.
yes,
And I
yes.
imagined my kids saying to me, are you living your passion? Are you doing your
Wow,
passion?
wow.
And that's when I thought, no, man, something is not right. How am I going to be? Because I started thinking about, what am I going to teach my daughter? What are some of the values I'm going to instill and all of that? So, I was going through that phase and they say the most difficult work is self work, the inside work. And I think
Yeah,
around about that time, I was doing a lot of self introspection.
yeah,
And I thought to myself, I have to be a good role model for my daughter. And if I'm going to preach that follow your happiness, follow your passion, do what you love, how come I'm not living it?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I imagine there's an impact on the household when you come back from work.
Yeah.
Because quite often when you're in a corporate job, especially if you're just frustrated about colleagues or you
Yes.
don't like them or you don't really love what you're doing, you just come home and
Yes.
you complain
Yes.
all the
All
time.
the time.
But at least when you come home, you've tried something. You're doing something
Yes.
you love anyways.
You
Yeah.
know?
So it's not doom and gloom when you get
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely. I mean, sure. One thing about entrepreneurship, I mean, it's a lot of things. People say it's lonely, it's hard. I also say it's hard, it's quite hard. But one thing it has given me is time,
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
my own time. Yes, I work hard. I work harder
Yep.
than any of my employees. I
Yep.
sleep at night. I wake up in the morning. I'm always working. I'm always thinking about my business. But one thing it's afforded me is time with my kids, time that I can control. So things work around me and my schedule and my family schedule. So I can afford to plan to travel with my husband. I can decide that, what, all my meetings start at 10 o'clock because I want to drop off my kids. I want to go to gym. I want to do this. So
Yeah.
that's what it's given me, the freedom of time and choosing. And that's the one thing that a 9 to 5 cannot give you.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your message to aspiring entrepreneurs and side hustlers?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it would really be about starting, right? I always say start where you are with what you have.
Yeah.
People tend to think you start, you know, things have to be perfect first before you start. I started a business 6 years ago without a business plan and a marketing plan.
Imagine.
I started from a passion. I started from a problem that I was experiencing. Then I thought many other people could be experiencing that. So now I'm solving a problem for lots of other people, you know? And so you don't have to be under the perfect time will never come.
Yeah.
So if you are
Yeah.
waiting for the perfect time to start, you will never start. So I always say start with what you have, and at the time that it is there,
Yeah.
there will never be a perfect time to start. And the second thing would really be fear, right? I think fear cripples a lot of us into not starting at all.
Yeah.
And I always say, don't let fear cripple you. Imagine if you start a business and then the business fails. So I always say it's the business that failed. It's the idea that failed or the implementation that failed. It's not you. You are not a failure as a person. Because what most business people do, they pick themselves up again, try new strategy, new idea, new implementation, and then you go. But people like to personalize fear. No, I am the failure. No, no, no. It's the idea or something else that fails. Don't personalize it too much. Otherwise, it cripples you and you just don't live a fulfilling life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this your first business?
Yes, this is my first business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever have any businesses before? Or
I once registered a company. Oh, it's crazy. It's really crazy because I don't know what I was thinking. I think I've always had this. I think it's the engineer in me.
Yeah,
Like I see
yeah.
problems and then I want to solve it. And then
Yeah.
I'm thinking a business idea. I think I remember going to an event and there was something about the mobile bar not working or something. And I said to my husband, I think I'm gonna own a mobile bar.
Yeah.
So I mean it's crazy. I can't imagine myself doing, but yeah, I registered it but it never I think
never
I
took
quoted
off.
one of my friends, didn't get the gig, and then that's where it
So you never
landed.
started the business. You just registered it and then that's it. It's kind of hung there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
yeah.
mean, like I said, there's something about doing something you love. You don't
Yeah.
grow tired. I mean, business is sometimes frustrating. Like
Yeah.
you said, sometimes you get home and you're like, oh, I want to quit. I don't want to do this thing anymore.
Yeah.
And,
Especially corporate.
And yes.
Corporate, you're just gossiping about your colleagues. That's
You know,
all you do.
But also in business. And then I sit with myself and I guess I try to console myself. I'm like, you know what? Anyway, I'm an engineer. I'm employable. I can just go back to corporate or the mines or whatnot. And then the thing that gets me is that my people, where are my people gonna go?
Yeah.
In this economy, like you said,
Yeah.
Cyril's economy that
Yeah.
has high employment rates, they are semi-skilled. I've had to train them. I guess the business experience is helping with their own skill. But where are they gonna go? Nobody's employing, so it's also the responsibility of the people that are relying on me. That's what drives me. And even when I want to quit, I can't because
Yeah.
they depend on me. They are children, they are families that are dependent on, my decision. And so imagine I just leave everything. What happens?
Yeah. I had an ex-boss who used to tell me that him and I used to talk about unemployment a lot. And he used to say, Teddy, if every business registered in the country was to employ one person, would have 0% unemployment.
Yes.
You believe in that?
No, I do.
Yeah.
No, I do. We have to take responsibility, honestly. And I think majority of South Africans, we are quick to blame the government and say, oh, why are they not doing this? Why? The responsibility lies with you. I think, even me, I took my business seriously when I had an employee, when I had somebody depend. That's when I knew I can't fail because I owe someone now.
Yeah.
I have to pay a salary or a wage. So, that drive naturally came. So I really do believe that would minimize half of our problems.
Yeah. At the same time, South Africans complain, but they make a plan. Still.
We make
Yeah.
a plan.
Yeah.
We make it work, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe, we are fighters. I also ask myself, like, why am I always fighting and why does everything have to be a drag? But I think about it and I'm like, all our lives we've had to fight. I've had to fight to get a voice. I've had to fight to be heard. I've had to fight to have a seat in the boardroom table, And so
we're talking about
it's
now
all we know.
as a black female.
As a black female,
had to fight.
it's all we know. So
Yeah.
it just comes naturally at this point.
Yeah.
That in order to get something, you just have to fight for it.
Yeah.
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 It's not gonna land on your lap.
Yeah. So where's your business going? What's the next
My
step?
business is going
DeNic?
global.
Nice. Yeah.
But also my business is going retail at the moment. So
Okay.
like I said, we're setting up our first retail showroom in Pretoria. And yeah, I want to try the business model of having different retail showrooms, maybe in different provinces as a start, keeping the manufacturing central, and then growing from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the growth and expansion plans that I have for my business.
Is it just going to be a temporary retail or like physical?
Physical
Okay.
store. Yeah.
Okay.
Physical
Your own store.
Yes.
Okay.
Own store.
Okay.
Busy setting it up.
Yeah.
And like I'm saying, there are no guarantees, there are no assurities that customers will walk in, but I'm walking in there with faith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm believing and trusting that, this is growth. And I think for the longest time, my business has been telling me that it wants to grow, and I've kind of slowed it down. And so I think I've taken my next leap of faith, and I've said, let me go into retail, sign contracts, and yeah.
So what are you hoping to achieve in like Saudi Arabia as your next trip?
Partnerships, collaborations, I think people have said it a lot. The only way to grow is to collaborate. You can't walk this journey alone and think that you're going to grow at it alone. So I think I'm at a stage in my business now where, I'm willing to look into partnerships and collaborations and seeing how we can open up, the market with other people. Yeah. Like it's time to stop working so hard, but work smart. And I think that's the next smart move. Collaborations.
Well, Dipuo, it's been great having this conversation. We could chat forever.
I know, right?
All I can say is that I look forward to walking into your store.
Thank you.
And I'm definitely going to be a customer.
Definitely.
Because my home needs a bit of improvement, but I think you would get along so with my wife.
I'm sure.
Which I mean, you do anyways.
Yes.
You can certainly share the twin factor, the home improvement app, and then the reality that you've been able to actually bring your passion to life, which is really inspiring.
Thank you.
A lot of people do often struggle with that.
Also,
they sit on dreams.
Passions,
They don't start. We all dream. We're all dreamers.
Yeah.
But sometimes, and I think it was Steve Jobs, that if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough.
Exactly.
And a lot of people are scared about their dreams.
Yes. Yeah. Do something about it. Just start.
Yeah.
And for me, it's been a learning curve, but it's been fruitful.
Yeah.
But I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
In this journey.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of self-discovery, because also if you're gonna lead people, you need to know yourself.
Yeah.
So I've done the inside work, like I said.
Yeah. Well, I wish you the very best on your journey. I am so excited to coming to your store, and I'm so excited to having you over at home.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for watching today's episode of Mzansi Unicorns. This episode was sponsored by Medstone Boutique Advisory. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. And please comment again. Until next time, chop chop.